garbage person of the week is, kind of often is, Ron DeSantis, specifically for legislation in this case. He signed a bill into law this week that will require teachers who are part of unions that pay their dues to no longer be able to pay them conveniently by having them taken out of their paycheck. No, they have to individually send in checks through the mail. Here's him giving an explanation for why this needs to happen.
You have this situation with school unions. You have a right to not do it, but what they do is they provide authorization forms, blanket authorization for deduction, automatic deduction of dues. So even though a lot of teachers don't do it, many teachers feel pressure to do it. And so what this bill does is it protects them. It says no automatic deduction for school union dues. If you want to join, you can, but you write a check and you hand it over. That is going to lead to more take-home pay for teachers because they're not going to have as many deductions in their paycheck. What I think we saw during COVID here in Florida, we led the country saying kids need to be in school. All schools need to be open. What did they do? Did they say, yeah, we're with you, we want to stand up for the kids? No, they sued me to try to close the schools.
Up a BS argument as that this has to do not with attacking teachers unions specifically. This is just about deductions or whatever. You can't then go to, and they were so mean to me. Well, if they were being mean to you, that's cause for retribution, not a logical extension of blah, blah legislation. But by the way, we don't even need to get into his comments that imply that this is revenge. If the idea is just that the automatic deduction has an issue with the taxes or whatever, then okay, you make the change. But he is telegraphing how obviously partisan this is by the fact that in crafting legislation, carve-outs were offered for some unions, police, firefighters, corrections officers. They will not be affected by the new regulations. Those unions have been deemed by the regime to be acceptable. They will be able to automatically pay their dues. Everyone else will have to do it individually, with the idea being that it'll make it inconvenient. It will make some people drop off. It will hurt the funding of the unions. That's all this is. And it feels like this is probably gonna follow up the whole Disney thing with leading to lawsuits. Brett, what do you think?
Yeah, he's targeting them with harassment. He's making their lives harder, and there's no justification to exempt a police union and not a teachers union. He's trying. He has more confidence in his ability to woo the police union than he does in the teachers union. And traditionally, even in non-collective bargaining states like Alabama, the teachers union is so well positioned more than other unions to lead to political activism and successes from the left. When I was in college, I did this. I worked for this super insanely conservative guy named Terry Moe, who hated teachers unions because in states that were able to gut everything, that's the only real infrastructure that's there is for teachers, and then a high proportion of them actually become representatives because A, they're plugged into the community, and B, they have an extensive system to take time off and get coverage from other teachers in terms of substitutes that other people just don't have baked into their company's business models.
Yeah, I'm gonna read, I appreciate that. I'm gonna read one super chat. Matthias says, if money is free speech, Ron blocking union paying members to send their dues in electronically is violating their personhood. Also, by the way, is he making all political donations to activist organizations like PACs and parties and things like that have to go through the mail rather than like through Act Blue, Act Red, all that stuff? Exactly, this is ridiculous. What's that?
Costs money to send a check.
Well, it costs money to send anything through the mail.
If he's don't pretend to be, exactly. Don't pretend to be on teachers' side and then say that you want them to spend more money and make their life harder.
Exactly.
And that they're evil.
Does. Well, those are our garbage people of the week, but many of you voted. 36,000 of you voted, and here are your top 5. Coming in at number 5 with 1% of the vote, you have Brian Slatton, the Texas Republican, for his inappropriate relationship with an intern after demonizing groomers. At number 4, 2% of the vote, you have Eric Adams for his weak response on the killing of Jordan Neely. Coming in at number 3 with 19% of the vote, you have Greg Abbott for doing absolutely nothing after gun violence near Dallas. Coming in at number 2 with 31% of the vote, pretty split this week. You have Donald Trump for saying sex assault happens, fortunately or unfortunately, he's not sure. But your community garbage person of the week with 47% of the vote is the Supreme Court for believing they're above ethics codes and they don't need to comply with oversight or anything like that. I'm gonna be getting more in depth into my thoughts about these on an upcoming video on our TikTok at tiktok.com/The Damage Report. So definitely look for that every Friday.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.